Hey everybody, it's Brian with the Droid Effect, and today I'm here with part 2 of my comparison video between the LG G-Pad 8.3 Google Play Edition and the Samsung Galaxy Tab Pro 8.4. I'm going to go back to the display and show you a video on both tablets. It's the same movie, it's Avatar, and hopefully you'll be able to see the difference between the displays, whether or not you like the warmer colors of the G-Pad or the crisper definition of the Galaxy Tab. So hopefully you'll be able to see that, because it is a little bit difficult recording a movie that's being played on a tablet while trying to record it through a video recorder. So without further ado, let's start with the G-Pad here, and I'm going to hit the play button here.
I told myself I can pass any test a man can pass. They can fix a spinal if you got the money, but not on vet benefits, not in this economy.
Now I can already tell by looking through the camcorder here that you're really not getting the full detail that's in this tablet. So, but I will tell you this, that the G-Pad just has really rich colors. The color reproduction is very solid. I think it's more representative of what the movie was supposed to look like. The details are there. This movie just looks fantastic. It runs very well. I specifically got the G-Pad because of its expandable memory, so I can watch videos that I have. My entire Blu-ray library is backed up. So I'm going to pause it here. Okay. And let's go to the Galaxy Tab. So.
Not on vet benefits, not in this economy.
So this is the same video.
Let's go, special case. Do not make me wait for you.
Well, ladies, look at all this fresh meat. Woo!
Back on Earth, these guys were army dogs, Marines, fighting for freedom.
Look out, Hot Rod.
And I'm going to pause it right there. The biggest difference I see in video between the two is the color. I'm not sure if you could really appreciate the differences through the camera here, but the picture quality is almost identical. I will say that the Galaxy Tab is probably a little bit sharper, but I like the colors better on the G-Pad. I think the colors are a little washed out on the Galaxy Tab, and I know that's hard to kind of convey through this video, so you'll just have to kind of take my word on it, that both videos here, they look great, but I just kind of prefer the G-Pad, and that's kind of surprising considering that the G-Pad has the lower pixel density than the Galaxy Tab. So, but just I don't see a big enough difference when it comes down to the sharpness or crispness of the videos to make me want to choose the Galaxy Tab over the G-Pad. So let's get back to the home screens here, because I want to dive into another area that I didn't get to in part 2, which is storage. Okay. Now everyone knows that Samsung is notorious for really eating up a lot of storage, and I'm going to show you they've gotten a lot better with it. So let's go into the storage here and let it calculate, and here we go. So the 16 gigabyte model, okay, with no other applications installed except for what comes with it, I have 10.24 gigs left. So that's pretty good for, the Galaxy S4 left you with 8. But here's a surprising thing. A half an hour ago, I only had 5 gigs available. And what was eating up all my data, all my memory, was cache data and miscellaneous files. And originally, when I was putting the movie on the tablet, I wanted to just put it on the internal memory, and instead I had to use the SD card because there was no space for it. And when I looked, I noticed I only had 5 gigs left, and that was without installing any applications. The miscellaneous files took up 2.97 gigs, and the cache data was just over 2 gigs. So I was literally using just over 5 gigs of data. Now, I went into miscellaneous files, and this is what showed up. Okay. And I didn't know what to do here, because you do the math here, and none of these add up to 3 gigs. So I left it alone. I went to cache data, and I tried clearing it, and I get this error. Okay, but it clears it anyway. It says I don't have access to it, but if I do it, it clears it anyway. So I was able to clear the cache data, but right before I started shooting this video and I went back to this, it went back down to 715 megabytes. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. In Samsung with TouchWiz, sometimes it's just not predictable. It says at the top here, the minimum amount of storage space required to run the system is 4.22 gigs. So that's a lot smaller footprint than what was on the Galaxy S4 when I reviewed it. But I'm going to recommend right now, if you're going to get this tablet, get the 32 gig. I wouldn't bother getting a 16 gig anything Samsung, because you just have no idea what you're actually getting. So now let's go to the G-Pad here. Now I didn't wipe this. It's got all my applications on it, but I'm going to go to and show you. Stock Android just handles this better. Okay, it just handles memory better. Okay, my miscellaneous files on my G-Pad never exceed this number, 136 megabytes. Every now and then it might get up to like 200, but it never does. And this is full of applications. My cache data is 67.24 megabytes. It never really gets up past a gig, and I can clear it. So there it is, 1.55 megabytes. Now, my total space left on this is 5.88 gigs. That's with all the applications that I want to run and all the data and media that I have on the tablet. So on my original review of the G-Pad, I showed that it started you off, I think stock Android started you off with, I want to say 12 gigs of usable storage, because stock Android is the minimal amount of what you need to run any Android device. So when it comes down to usable space between the two devices, the G-Pad's going to win out every time. But it's going to win out because it doesn't have the same features that you get with the touchpad. I'm sorry, not the touchpad. The Galaxy Tab. So you're going to make sacrifices there. But like I said before, if you're going to look at these two devices, I would definitely prefer the 32 gig over the 16 gig. Alright. The other thing I want to talk to you about is accessories and development. The G-Pad is a Google Play edition. It runs stock Android, but it doesn't have a huge development community behind it. I don't think this device is popular enough to really draw in all the developers. There are certainly some good ROMs for this, and things like Exposed Framework works fine, but if you're looking for something like this that has the same development community as, let's say, a Nexus 7, you're going to be disappointed. Now, the Galaxy Tab is going to be a much more popular device than the G-Pad, just because it's widely available just about everywhere. It's going to be in brick and mortar electronics stores. I mean, if you walk into a Best Buy, the Samsung, annex of the store now, they're going to be pushing this device. This device is going to be in your face everywhere you go. So it's going to be a very popular device, and whenever you have a popular device, the development community is going to be that much bigger for it. So if you're looking for a device that you want to root and ROM a lot, if you go through a lot of ROMs, I would probably steer you more towards the Galaxy Tab rather than the G-Pad. But the problem I have is, again, This model is $50 more expensive than this model. Now $50 may not be a big deal, but when you're looking at storage problems and you have to bump up, I believe the next model up on this at 32 gigs is going to run you, I want to say $450. So now you're looking at a $100 difference to get a better tablet than what you're getting with this one. So you're spending more money with the Galaxy Tab than you are with the G-Pad. The other advantage, though, that the Galaxy Tab has over the G-Pad is accessories. Samsung has some fantastic accessories, and you can bet your bottom dollar that they're going to have great touch covers with this. They're going to have great cases for this. It took me 3 weeks after ordering it off a Chinese website through Amazon to get a case for this. There just aren't any really good accessories with the G-Pad. There's really only one decent case. Even finding accessories like docks and things like that, they're really hard to find. LG is not Samsung, and they just don't have all the accessories available for their tablets and for any of their products. Samsung is an accessory machine. You know, I would compare Samsung to that of Apple when it comes down to accessories for their devices. So if you're looking for something that you can accessorize externally through different cases and things like that, again, the Galaxy Tab is going to be your tablet of choice in that. So it really comes down at this point to personal preference, and I know that's a cop-out. Now, looking at both of these tablets and handling both of these tablets, am I disappointed that I went and bought the G-Pad before the Galaxy Tab came out? No, I am not. If I had to do it over again and wait, would I get the Galaxy Tab over the G-Pad? And the answer is no, I would not. Because, again, I have some issues with the brightness on this, the contrast. It bothers me at night using it. And I like running stock Android. This will get updated before this does. There's no guarantee that the Galaxy Tab will get updated at all. The G-Pad, you're guaranteed prompt updates. Not as fast as the Nexus line, but it only takes a couple of weeks before you really see those updates getting pushed. So whatever the next update is for Android, you can bet it's going to come to the G-Pad before it ever makes it to the Galaxy Tab. Samsung is really notorious for their slow update cycle. So if having the latest version of Android is a deal breaker for you, then the G-Pad is definitely for you. Now, both of these devices are, in my mind, fantastic. I think this particular device that I got is a little defective with some of the bugs that I've had, especially on the magazine UI. But for the most part, it's a great device. It's got a great screen. Again, there are things about it that I don't like. I don't like that it makes the fonts on everything super small. I don't like that it minimizes all the windows that you open up, like in Google Plus. I don't like how it makes things smaller in Google Now. I think the Galaxy Tab wastes a lot of real estate in certain applications to try to conform to certain sharpness and crispness in its images, whereas the G-Pad is much better at using the entire screen without really sacrificing any of that crispness in its imagery either. So, I mean, the displays on both of these, yes, this one is a lot cooler than this. This has a lot warmer colors. And when you compare, when you have them side by side, it becomes really apparent. But honestly, I didn't realize how warm this was until I put it next to this. And when I'm using this, without this next to me, I completely forget how warm the whites are on this. But I do prefer the color of this over this, and I see that in videos, and hopefully I'm able to show you guys that in this video. So that's my presentation, guys. That's part 2. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments section. If you like my videos, go ahead and subscribe. I'm going to be posting both these videos on our website, at the Droid Effect. So hopefully, after watching both videos, you get an idea of both tablets. It's easier to play with this one than it is with this one because you can play with this in a local electronics store, whereas this you cannot really get a hold of a Google Play edition of this. You can play with the LG model, which has their own UI, but I've played with that one and it's pretty terrible. I think LG's UI is really bad. So for me, the only option with getting this tablet is the Google Play edition. So, but I do really love this tablet. This tablet too is fantastic. If the things that I showed you don't bother you and you really want the absolute best display possible, it's going to be the Galaxy Tab Pro. So guys, as usual, thanks for watching.